Alrighty, so the live stream that I did for reacting to this new Ragnarok stuff has just ended, and I wanted to go over sort of like highlights of what they kind of went over and what they kind of announced, because it was really confusing. There was not a whole lot of information going into this thing, and there was so many different theories that people had on what they were actually going to be unveiling. And with the whole like world premiere sort of like branding to it, it seemed like it was going to be something really interesting and really big, and I think that they delivered on that. Like, I really do think that what they've kind of announced is really, really cool. So basically, the overall gist of the entire thing was that they are making a new original story concept for the Seven Deadly Sins, where they sort of traverse, or I guess they almost get transported to a Norse mythology style world, where there are a whole new like set of characters and stuff like that for them to interact with, and a whole new adventure for them to go on. And there's going to be, you know, in-game cutscenes and voice acting and all of the, like, they're basically going the full 9 yards. They even had like a really cool animated intro sort of like trailer for the entire thing. I'll leave the link down to the actual live stream itself in the description, so you guys can go check that out if you want to. I'm probably just not going to show it on stream because I don't want it to be, I don't know, I just don't want to show you guys a trailer if there's literally a trailer. I don't want me to talk over it or anything like that. So yeah, check the description if you want to see that. But they showed off a lot of really cool stuff, like a lot of the art design and just the trailers and stuff like that in general looked really, really cool. They went over how grateful they were that it was, you know, the 2nd year anniversary of the game and how far they had come and everything like that. A lot of the characters look really, really cool and interesting in my opinion. The ones that they showed off, if I can find exactly where they showed them, don't know exactly where they were. Okay, so here was the first character. He's like the main one. This is the sword that they kind of showed off in the actual like teaser trailer almost. He's Sigurd, apparently the son of Siegfried, I think is what they said, and he is a prince of Midgard, or a powerful nation in Midgard called Xantenberg, which is really, really interesting. He's a great sword user, which I think is really cool, because as far as I know, I don't know if there's any real characters in the Seven Deadly Sins original story that uses a claymore, which is really cool. There is Fenrir, which is sort of like a small I called him a cat boy in the sort of like live stream, but he is apparently a like mix of like a boy and a wolf, which is pretty interesting. I think he's got a pretty cool design. He's obviously like a younger kid, and somebody in the live stream pointed out that it's weird that he's like a small child, because Fenrir in Norse mythology is like a giant wolf. So I think that's kind of funny, but obviously he is pretty interesting. Thonar, I don't really know how to pronounce her name specifically. The live stream was in Korean, and then they dubbed it over to Japanese, and then we literally just got subtitles for the English version of the live stream, so I don't know why they did it like that. But she is basically like new waifu status material, so she is pretty cool looking. And then the last one that they showed off was Grimnir, who was a bard who looked, from the in-game sort of like cutscenes and stuff like that they showed off of him, it almost seems like he's going to be in your tavern, and he's going to be like singing about the Seven Deadly Sins adventures and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. I like bards a lot, and I think his like character design and stuff like that really fits that of a bard. They showed the voice actors and stuff like that for each of the characters as well, and they all seem to match pretty spot on. So they went over the fact that they were going to be trying to release this content on a monthly basis. In the new dev notes that I'm going to be making a video on in the morning, they were saying that basically they're going to try to come out with a new story chapter for the main story. Every month they're going to try to release a new chapter. And they said in this live stream that they are going to try to match that basically, and try to do it to where a new Ragnarok chapter, which is supposed to have, I think they said, a total of 12 chapters, will be coming out every month as well. And the big kicker is that for the JP and Korean versions of the game, they're actually going to be getting the content first, and the first update for it should be at the end of June, which is this month. So they should be getting their first Ragnarok update, which should have the first, I guess, chapter of the story. And I guess they're going to be giving away a character. I'll go over that in just a second. But the global version of the game is actually going to be getting the content a month later. And we're going to be getting it at the end of July, which I think is really interesting that they're holding it back a month. But on the other end, there's pros and cons to the whole thing. Like, obviously, we're not going to be able to get the content like straight away, and we're not going to be able to mess with it as soon as the JP and Korean players are going to be able to, but it might give us a good chance to kind of look at that and have people from the Korean and JP versions of the game test the characters out and determine whether or not we're even going to want to summon for these new characters, or just like get their first impressions on it before it even comes to the game. So I don't know. It's not really all bad. I think that it would have been kind of nice to have it sort of in tandem, especially with them doing the reveal for all the versions of the game at one time. It's kind of weird that they're giving the global version like a month late, but I guess I can see that. You know, they're probably going to have to translate a lot of the dialogue and stuff like that over the course of the month before it actually comes out on the global side for each chapter. So I can definitely see why they're going to be doing that. But yeah, so that should be really interesting. Obviously, we're getting to the point in the actual show or the actual game, like where the story chapters are, where it's going to start showing off some really interesting characters and stuff like that. And I think if they sort of like maybe alternate and release content for this Ragnarok stuff, like on the like opposite end of the regular story chapters and stuff like that, it may end up being like a better time for the players, because obviously with a lot of the stuff that they're going to be showing in the story coming up soon, it's going to be really like hype characters that everybody's going to want to summon for and stuff like that. So it might be better for us in general to have a little bit more downtime in between the big huge characters coming out to save gems and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that it might not be all bad, and this new stuff honestly looks really, really good. They did say that there's going to be a newsletter that you can sign up for to get like news and info about the Ragnarok updates and stuff like that before they come out. And the biggest thing that they showed off was that whenever the first update comes out, that they are going to be giving out 100 diamonds, one free Ragnarok character. They did not reveal which one it was going to be yet, because they said that it has something to do with the story. They don't want to spoil that just yet, but we are going to be getting a free Ragnarok character. And then if I can find it, he says, and a full set of costumes for one of the Ragnarok characters. I'm assuming it's for the one that we're getting, but I don't know if they mean full set of costumes as in that we're getting all 3 costumes for that character. Like, you know how every time a new character comes out, we get 3 outfits for them. I don't know if they mean that, or if they mean just like 3 pieces of outfits, which would give us like one full set. So it's very interesting. I will just have to kind of wait. I don't know exactly about the wording on that, but honestly, that's like pretty huge in itself that they're going to give out some free rewards and stuff like that. And having one of the original characters for free is pretty interesting. Obviously, we'll just have to wait and see who it is. But I think that the update was really huge. Like as soon as they like came out on stage and everything, I was like, all right, this is like something like massive. So I think it should be a really, really fun time. Hopefully, you know, they make it fun and interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of like sitting through and like reading story and stuff like that in games, but I'm going to try to actually sit through this and see like, you know, how they did with it, because I'm interested in Norse mythology and stuff like that. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think this would be a good chance for me to sort of like look into it and experience it within the game and stuff like that. So it looks really good. Honestly, if you haven't seen the trailer for it, go watch the trailer. It'll be linked in the description. It's really, really like it's like fully animated. Like it literally looks like an anime episode almost. So I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Hopefully you guys think so as well. I think you know, this is a really good like upward trend for the game. I think this should be a really nice step in the right direction as far as like new content and stuff like that goes. That's pretty much the biggest complaint everybody has about the game, is there's never enough content, and I think this should help out with that for sure. Having 2 new story chapters every month, one for the original and one for Ragnarok, should be a really nice sort of step in the right direction. So that is basically it for me. This was honestly like a huge reveal. I'm really excited to see how it turns out, and hopefully it turns out really good, because I think it looks great. I think it's a really cool original idea, and yeah, that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am. Feel free to subscribe for all kinds of new videos. I pretty much do a new video every day unless there's just absolutely nothing to make a video out for. So that's pretty much it for me. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe for all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.